eating the grass to help keep your lung healthy.
Hi guys, welcome back to XCOM Enemy Within. It's at the start of a mission here. Sign's going to take a few.
My experience with fast signs has been unbelievable. We had our vision, but fast signs made it possible. They made it better. The park is 65 acres. We have 28 barns, 750 stalls, 12 arenas. So the size of our project was overwhelming at the beginning.
Everything needed to be revitalized. We had 2 to 3 weeks to really transform the entire park. Literally hundreds of signs and banners that we made for them. Logo flags, directional signs, over 1,000 feet of sponsor banners. We want you to make your statement.
When I said that they could do such a large project, really easy for me. They made me feel very comfortable. I'm so happy with the results we've come up with. When we reopened the park, we had a serious wow factor, and people were so happy.
Harry and David makes Mother's Day easy. Share a gift made with love with the mom in your life. Choose from hundreds of stunning baskets and towers. It's the perfect way to say thank you for everything. Harry and David, life is a gift. Share more.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we used to have flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily. So we really made a commitment to quality. All of our flags are finished with bar tacking at all the stress points, and they are sewn using double needle lock stitching.
All of our flag materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com. Introducing Allison's Black Psoriasis. She thinks her flaky gray patches are all people see.
Otezla is the #1 prescribed pill to treat black psoriasis. Otezla can help you get clearer skin and reduce itching and flaking with no routine blood tests required. Doctors have been prescribing Otezla for over a decade. Otezla is also approved to treat psoriatic arthritis. Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions can happen. Otezla may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Some people taking Otezla had depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur.
With clear skin, Girls Day Out is a good day out. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla.
What impacts you every day? Undeniably, there's one influential book that shapes the way we measure, create, and ignite change. The Bible's impact is all around you. Discover how at Museum of the Bible.
Rutgers University students in New Jersey taking on anti-Israel campus protesters with their love of country.
Puto.
You can see him in a portion of that video. Ben was the student holding the American flag high, and he joins us now. Ben, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sticking up for the country.
Thank you.
What brought you to that protest? How did you get to that spot?
Yeah, pretty simply, my friends and I, before it was happening, we were excited that Rutgers was finally taking some sort of action against these protesters who, sort of shouting "Death to America, Death to Israel," and calling for.
There are people disrupting our classes and saying "Death to America." Please do something.
Exactly. So we were pretty happy something was happening and wanted to go, sort of see it happen.
And so it wasn't you heard that they were finally standing up to these protesters, grabbed a flag. And how did so many people show up? Was that coordinated? Did email go out?
No, it wasn't really coordinated at all. My friends and I sort of just came with the flag more as just to go. We didn't really think much of it at the time, and I think people really rallied around it, which was inspiring to see. But it wasn't coordinated at all.
And you see targets on Jews are something you've seen on campus.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, it's not new, and I think that's not really what's talked about now. This is something that's been going on for years. It's definitely amplified now, but just my own experience and my friends' experience, I've had friends and They've called anti-Semitic slurs walking around campus. I'm part of a Jewish fraternity, and our house has been egged multiple times. I've watched students walking in a kippah be pointed out and laughed at. So it is definitely an issue, and it's definitely sort of on the rise of late.
These encampments or the protests from the pro-Hamas folks, are they all students or are there outside aspects too?
Yeah, I haven't really been fully inside, so I don't know. However, I know at least at the protest, it's definitely not all students. They're bringing people in. They have a mix of students and non-students, and they're posting on social media calling for anyone in the area to come and support. So it's not a fully student-led operation.
Unfortunately, some of this ended because Rutgers caved to some of the demands of protesters. Here's a portion of what they caved to: accepting 10 displaced Palestinian students on scholarships. Okay, so maybe some future Gaza scholars. Use the word Palestine, Palestinians, and Gazans in official communications, and display flags of other countries to ensure appropriate representation of students. Why can't Rutgers or other universities just stand up for kids that are being targeted?
Yeah, I think, unfortunately,
Go over here.
Sort of as you mentioned, across universities, but university presidents are very hesitant to engage in conflict. That's sort of the way I see it. They want to not take a side, but the action of not taking a side is taking a side. These rallies are fueling anti-Semitism across the country, and Rutgers standing idly by and then basically caving to their demands is Rutgers basically enabling that fuel to the fire.
Last question, real quick. You held that flag. What does it mean to you?
It means a lot. When people go out and call for violence or call for hate speech, I see that as un-American, and I don't think that's what we stand for here in America. So I want to hold the flag sort of to counter that, and for that reason.
Well, you did a good thing, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for rallying others, too.
Thank you.
Got it. All right, I'm going to toss it over to Rachel, who's got a few headlines for us.
All right. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, so much for coexist, right? Remember those days? All right. New overnight. Mexican authorities say they found 3 bodies near the area where an American and 2 Australian tourists were reported missing. Officials say they haven't identified the remains, but say they were found during search for the 3 men after they never arrived at the Airbnb that they rented last week. Authorities also found a burnt white pickup truck and tents in the area. Mexican officials say they have obtained arrest warrants for the 3 people being investigated in connection with this case. It's very sad. Prince Harry, King Charles are set to meet for the 2nd time since Charles's cancer diagnosis back in February. That's according to the Daily Mail. Harry will be at the Invictus Games in London on Wednesday. However, according to the report, Harry will not meet with his brother, Prince William. That's still icy. All right, former Republican North Carolina Senator Elizabeth Dole was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom yesterday. That's the highest honor a civilian can receive. Dole was the first woman to serve as Transportation Secretary, as well as the first woman to represent North Carolina in the Senate. She's also known for her foundation, which supports military caregivers. She says in part, quote, "It's humbling indeed to be counted among those who have received this award in the past, including my precious husband, Bob Dole. We live in the greatest country in the world, and I've been blessed to serve in roles with incredible colleagues where we can make a positive difference in the lives of our fellow citizens." And those are your headlines. She looks great, by the way. All right, well, patriotic gear for a good cause. How you can give back by buying mom one of these timeless bags this Mother's Day. That story up next. Stay with us.
Still not confident about which used car to buy? Nope. Why not ask the most confident person you know?
My old high school coach.
This one's got talent, toughness, the will to win.
Let me coach you on this. Just say, show me the Carfax pal. You'll get the most accurate price based on the vehicle's accident.
Excellent.
Look for me and stop overpaying. Shop at the all-new Carfax.com. No.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't this great?
Yeah! Yeah. I can do a cartwheel in here.
Would you like to join us? No.
We would love to join you.
Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older. But most guys don't do anything about it because most guys don't really understand skincare. They think it's too expensive and they don't believe that anything actually works. But here's the thing. Most guys are wrong because there are actually a few ways to reduce your eye bags, and one of the easiest, Particle 6-in-1 face cream, actually works really well.
Shit.
And most guys actually can afford it. Because it's 6-in-1's formula, means you're getting 6 products after 2 formula. Just wash your face and then massage in Particle for 30 seconds. Before you know it, you're looking younger than, well, most guys. But forget about most guys. Just be you. Have a younger version of you. You can order right now at particlemen.com. We've got free shipping in the United States, plus a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Tonight, we have this counter-revolution of Marxist and Islamist going on.
Leo Terrell sounds off, plus Victor Davis Haynes and talks the real impact of war on life, liberty, and living.
People say Analog X is the perfect game. I'm not comfortable with this.
They're asking us to reduce the family's medical bills due to hardships and asking you to erase it. Was that for me? We all need to find ourselves.
I appreciate everything you've done.
I'm good at pointing at things and taking over an answer I want.
Strike one. We've got hostile contacts moving on your position.
The program helped me a lot because I met other kids who were going through the same process, so I was able to relate and find somewhere where I could have been. Thanks to your support of United Way, I'm able to achieve my dreams and I'm a doctor.
Hair driver killed my brother DJ. My life changed forever. During the pandemic, all of our lives changed, and many of us turned to alcohol and drugs.
Shit.
As life returns to normal, the increase in substance use from COVID has ended, and some police services report an increase in impaired driving that caused heartbreak and devastation. Now, more than ever, we implore people to never drive and to encourage
Which one?
family and friends to do the same. Together, we can save lives.
All right, well, just in time for Mother's Day, Heritage Gear is teaming up with the Guiding Star Project to provide education and support to young mothers in need. Guiding Star Project President Lisa Canning joins us now. Lisa, it's so great to have you on. So you're partnering with Heritage Gear, which we partnered with. We've had them on the show before. You're on Fox and Friends, and I'm so excited about this partnership because I love what your organization stands for. Creating an environment for women so no one fears pregnancy.
We have a vision for the future right now. We want to answer pregnant, whether it's your first child or your 10th child like me. We want the answer to be congratulations, 100%. And we do this through education, community, and healthcare solutions at our 8 centers in the United States.
You have 8 centers. So tell me, what does a woman get when they come into your center?
We want women to understand that your body is good, that your ability to conceive and carry a child and bear it into the world, raise it, nourish it with your body is good and natural and how we're designed to operate. And that it's empowering. I think a lot of women have, unfortunately, maybe traumatic experience when it comes to birth or pregnancy, and we want to help with education, especially, that your body was designed to do this. And so it begins as young as age 9. We want young girls like our daughters to understand that this is natural, this is good, this is part of being a woman, and that it's amazing.
Yeah, you say women are gifted with the natural feminine abilities to ovulate, gestate, and lactate. Our 4 core services support and honor these natural biological functions that are uniquely female by providing holistic healthcare solutions that affirm the goodness and necessity of the feminine design. I honestly think this is the future of healthcare, and for women in particular. And it's interesting that other movements, for example, the pro-abortion movement, they inject so much fear into something that's a natural thing.
I think in a time when we're redefining literally what it means to be a woman,
we want to reclaim that.
And it is simply a fact that there are things that only women can do.
So Heritage Foundation has partnered with you, and they got together and they designed these bags that are like, you know, I never had a diaper bag. I never liked diaper bags. I just had a big purse. And these are perfect because here you have, I mean, you can fit everything you want in here. The inside is canvas and wipeable. And these are on sale. So if you haven't gotten mothers, a mother-to-be, your own mother, this one's a little bit smaller. And then they also have these candles, 3 candles in a beautiful gift box with the American flag. These are great, and the proceeds go to your center.
We're so fortunate to be partnering with Heritage Gear. It's made in the USA quality. It's the kind of bag you can pass down to your daughter. They call this the Infinity Tote online. I call it the ultimate mom bag. I'm like, everything fits in that bag.
Everything fits in. Well, listen, you are the future of women's healthcare. Thank you for joining us, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Heritage Gear, you can go to heritagegear.com. You can support GuidingStarProject.com by purchasing a bag in time for Mother's Day. So, thank you. Okay, a big show still ahead this Saturday morning. Stay with us.
Someone needs to
Oh,
customize
good.
and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Let's fly.
Keep that.
I thought you were right now. Only pay for what you need. Imagine a future where plastic is not wasted, but instead remade over and over into the things that keep our food fresher, our families safer, and our planet cleaner. To help us get there, America's plastic makers are investing billions of dollars to create innovative products and new recycling technologies for sustainable change. Because when you push for smarter solutions, big things can happen.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better even than this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma. It's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma.
Nice.
Taking steroids without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent. When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow Sins, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new diesel fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size, only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free. If you've ever grilled, you know you can count on propane to make everything great. But did you know propane also powers school buses that produce lower emissions that lead to higher test scores? Or that propane can cut your energy costs at home? It powers big jobs and small ones too. From hospitals to hospitality, people rely on propane, an energy source that's affordable, plentiful, and environmentally friendly for everyone. Get the facts at propane.com/now.
Strike one. Prepare for landing.
1 second, Grandma. This guy's gonna find my car.
Okay, you need carbonic entry. Plate number, no accidents, right?
No, generally.
Down to
Carvana can pick it up tomorrow.
That's an amazing offer.
Sell your car the easy way with Carvana.
If you're shopping for a home, Realtor.com's Real Choice Financing now gives you more ways to afford a home, like down payment assistance programs in your area.
Don't all apps do that?
Not really. Trust the #1 app real estate professionals trust.
You better start being real careful. There's no ordinary kind of money that isn't for the pie. Open and safe. How much is it worth to have a clear conscience?
It's the 7 a.m. hour of Fox and Friends Weekend, starting with this. Former President Trump and his team back in court yesterday as Hope Hicks breaks down on the stand and puts Michael Cohen on the blast.
Plus, drowning out the protesters, students across the country make it clear they're over the anti-American sentiment.
And let's like to set up to a bad joke. A dog and a deer take a stroll through town. We'll show you how that walk ended. The second hour of Fox and Friends Weekend starts right now.
I feel like it looks.
I don't know Nashville style.
I know. I'm looking for
A church ring a bell with the green building. Church Street, right?
the stadium doesn't ring a bell to me, and neither of it does, and that's not Nashville. I'm gonna go Louisville.
I don't know. Really good. My super taken by straight song.
Well, that maybe was a bit of a clue too.
Oh, that's why I was going Nashville.
Music cue. That's what I was kind of thinking about too. I'm like, well, they've been doing this, could be Nashville, but definitely wasn't Nashville. I feel good about being good at something.
I wasn't talking about you.
You tell me I'm good.
George Strait.
I thought you were talking about me. I'm so good at skylines. It's one of my favorite things.
You are the skylines as George Strait is to country.
Yes, thank you very much. Oh, I'll take that.
Take it.
Good morning. I'm currently taking it. And my pledge this year was to win all contests against Will. That was one of my resolutions.
You're winning.
I'm not perfect on it, but I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I'm dunking on his head.
I
right
just smoked you in the
Oh, that's true.
the go-kart races last weekend.
That's true. I'm not saying I have a perfect record. I'm saying I'm batting about 800.
No, you are
Well,
not.
we're going to have a match
800.
and well, because there's going to be little horse races today.
There was a new rule. Will's not allowed on motorized vehicles.
Yeah. Oh, this is, I don't know.
We want to avoid lawsuits.
I don't think this is motorized. I think this
It
is
is
like,
motorized.
It is motorized.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
no. Well.
hold on tight, everybody.
Must see TV in the 9 o'clock hour.
Absolutely.
Stay with us. All right. We move on to this. Former President Trump is holding a major donor retreat in Mar-a-Lago this weekend.
Several well-known Republicans will be attending, including those on Trump's reported short list for vice president.
Madeline Rivera joins us live in Washington with more. Madeline.
Hey, good morning, guys. The RNC's spring donor retreat in Palm Beach is significant for two reasons. It will boost former President Trump's campaign finances, and it allows him to see his potential running mates in action. Bloomberg reports that that short list includes Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. All are expected to be in Florida this weekend as well. Trump is headlining the annual weekend event as he once again slams his hush money trial in New York for keeping him off the campaign trail.
House, instead of being in any one of, I would say 10 states where I'd like to be right now. We're in 10 states. We were already marked out. Months ago, we were marked out to be in Georgia today. We're supposed to be in Ohio tomorrow, and we're supposed to be in Florida on the next day doing campaigning, essentially campaigning.
Trump also ripped April's jobs report showing the economy added just 175,000 jobs last month. It is lower than expected, though stocks did surge over optimism that the report could lead to rate cuts in the coming months. Meantime, the president may be looking for a boost himself from Star Wars actor Mark Hamill. He was at the White House on Friday where he met with the president.
Well, I called him Mr. President. He said, "You can call me Joe." And I said, "Can I call you Joe Obi-Wan Kenobi?" He liked that.
Today is unofficially Star Wars Day because, of course, the pun, May the 4th be with you, which I don't think needs any explaining, but I extend that to you guys, Wilkie and Rachel.
I forgot. May the 4th be with you. Thank you. That's good. Mark Hamill, seen better days.
Oh, yeah. We were just saying he kind of looks like a math teacher.
A little bit.
Yeah, he does.
He's gonna happen to all of us. It's gonna happen to all. Yeah, nothing wrong with a good math teacher.
No, not at all.
Into the dark side.
In many different ways. If you were watching yesterday, Joe Biden held a ceremony, gave out a bunch of medals. No, these are not medals of honor. These are medals of freedom, which is the highest civilian award that you can give out as president of the United States. Joe Biden, when he described it, did call it the Freedom of Medal. The freedom.
I'd expect no less.
The Freedom of Medal. So some of them. Well, here's a portion. There's a list of some of the people who received it. You'll recognize some of the faces: Al Gore, John Kerry. Elizabeth Dole, very respectable. Pelosi, but a lot of it is partisan giveaways at this point.
Yeah.
Here's how. Keep looking. There you go. Here's how Joe Biden described his medal for John Kerry at the White House yesterday.
I've served and worked closely as senator and as vice president and then as president with this guy, John Kerry. John Kerry. I was vice president, he was Secretary of State. In my administration, he led efforts across the globe, first special presidential envoy for climate. About six decades of service to the nation, John, as a soldier, senator, statesman.
We were talking about this last night. You were hosting on Jesse Waters, and this topic came up, and you kind of focused in on John Kerry, Nancy Pelosi, and Michael Bloomberg, who are three people who have tried to take people's freedoms away. It's really quite ironic. Through environmental policies, Michael Bloomberg, he's actually the president of the board of the C40 cities proposal, which wants to limit the amount of clothing you can actually purchase by the year, 40. They want to eliminate vehicles, so only rich people like him can fly private, and then he, buys some carbon offset in Africa in exchange for that. They want to eliminate meat. That's the other thing, and so. And then you look at John Kerry. He wants to, he's hurting Americans. The Green New Deal policies are killing American energy. They're killing American jobs. They're making everything more expensive. They're killing American jobs. So very ironic.
Nancy Pelosi as well, who was described by Joe Biden as standing in the breach. She stood in the breach to save democracy. Also, I noticed January 6th. Phil Donahue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was on the Yeah. Phil Donahue used to have a show where people actually said things that were interesting and disagreed. You go find some fascinating Milton Friedman debates with Phil Donahue.
You can, actually. I feel like they're interesting.
There were reports, though, afterwards that John Kerry took his medal and threw it in the river.
Really?
Remember he threw his awards in the river at the beach? Took his medal, took his freedom of medal and humped it in the Potomac. I
forgot about
such a patriot for all my medals.
Did that after he went
After he went, well, that's another thing. Maybe.
Isn't that what he does? Isn't that what he did?
Yeah, well, he was featured prominently in his 2004 campaign. Interesting, you got the 2000 campaign loser and the 2004 campaign loser in Al Gore and John Kerry.
Yeah, losers.
The winners yesterday.
Rachel, here's a little bit of optimism for you. You talked this morning about, as we all should point out, what's going on college campuses across America. It's extremely concerning, but there's been a pushback now, a growing amount of pushback. We've seen students, fraternity brothers at UNC, Rutgers this morning. You spoke to a student. We had a video coming out from Ole Miss and
University of Chicago.
There's the man.
And then here is some of the latest from LSU. We see at LSU. There's also some patriotism. It's good to see. It's good to see, how political these guys are, largely that are standing up on college campuses. In the end, I don't know. The protesters know much about the issue. The original protesters. So I don't know that we need to say how much do the frat guys know about it. They're there for America. They understand the essential nature of it, that it's also anti-American. And after a while, you're just like, I'm done with this. Pro-American.
Maybe they're also reacting, it's just like, we're sick of these crazies who are bullies. I remember when Evita was at the university, of Chicago and my daughter, and she got canceled for saying something, against socialism, and the whole storm turned against her. It was funny talking to her this week as she was watching what was happening in Chicago and seeing the protesters who were harassing anybody who didn't agree with them, and she's like, God, it just brought back all these feelings for her of like just what utter bullies these leftists are. They are not for free speech. They don't want to coexist like their little bumper stickers on their Subaru say. They want you to bow down to them. They want the administration to bow down to them. They want to cancel and make sure you don't get a job if you don't agree with them. They are bullies, and maybe this is as much about patriotism as it is just going, I'm sick of you people.
Yeah, it's sheer intimidation from the other side. We're wearing the face masks and the covering associated with radical Middle East terror organizations, and hoping to cower. Other people will cower in the basement, and not everybody is. It's not just down south where a lot of it is happening. It's also at Rutgers, the state college in New Jersey. Here's what protesters, anti-Hamas protesters said.
And earlier, Pete, you spoke to one of those guys at Rutgers, the one holding the American flag. There's a video. Ben, here's what he had to say.
It wasn't really coordinated at all. My friends and I sort of just came with the flag more as just to go. We didn't really think much of it at the time, and I think people really rallied around it, which was, inspiring to see, but it wasn't coordinated at all. I think, unfortunately, it's the problem, sort of as you mentioned, but university presidents are very hesitant to engage in conflict. That's sort of the way I see it. They want to not take a side, but the action of not taking a side is taking a side. These rallies are fueling anti-Semitism across the country, and Rutgers standing idly by and then basically caving to their demands is Rutgers basically enabling that fuel to the fire.
Yeah, Rutgers is going to get more of this, by the way, because they did cave to the demands. So the reason the tents got folded up is not because the president said, you're done here. It's because they caved and they're giving scholarships away to refugees from Gaza, and they're going to allow foreign flags to fly on campus. And
we're talking about free speech, and of course, to be honest, it's one of my most fundamental values, and I don't think if you don't protect speech that you hate, you're not really for free speech. No one needs protection to protect speech you love. That's not what it's about.
Right.
You have to protect speech you hate. So we need to point out, this has gone well beyond speech's point. It's gone into vandalism. It's gone into hostile takeovers of buildings. It's
excessive violence, intimidation,
vagrancy and loitering, throwing up tent camps on campus,
and not letting students get to class, not letting them graduate, not letting them take exams.
Force and violence, as well. These are not within the bounds of free speech. And by the way, I want to take a minute and say, we don't have hate speech in the United States.
I hate that term.
I do too.
I know Ben used that term, but I think that...
Well, that's a term used ubiquitous in the university.
Because, Republicans did advocate a bill this week to make anti-Semitic speech part of not protected speech from Title VI and so forth.
I know.
We have to stand for free speech, and this speech we're talking about, we hate. I hate this speech. That's the point. It came from Republicans.
Really, really sad. I didn't like that either. Can you explain something to me, Pete? I know you put a lot of thought to it. What is this alliance between Islamists and the radical left? Because it makes no sense to me.
Well, it's the Red-Green Alliance, and it's existed for quite some time in our country and around the world, and it's simply a marriage of, it's an anti-Western, anti-American.
That's it. Shared enemies. We talked about this on the Will Kane Show. The only commonality is a shared hatred of America and the West.
That's it. What do Marxists have to do with Islamists? Absolutely nothing. They fundamentally disagree with each other, but they agree on who they hate.
There's these outshoots from these protests. I saw one of them was like, dikes for divestment. And I'm like, what part of that does she not understand would not work for her? Like,
have to make sense.
Like, I don't understand that. Like, and there was another one, a lot of LGBTQ offshoots, pro-Palestinian, pro-Islamist, and I can't imagine that these kids are so ignorant.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of kids, Will, that you had on the show that are not ignorant. They understand who they are, who made them, and what gender they are. And that matters in sports. These are middle schoolers, right, Will?
Yeah, these are middle school girls in West Virginia. There was 3 of them that protested. A transgender track athlete, shot put,
And these middle schoolers said, no, not going to do it. And they wouldn't compete against the transgender students. They went on to win, by the way. The state of West Virginia largely had these girls back, but the Fourth Circuit Federal Court has stopped the Save Our Girls movement in West Virginia. So these girls were suspended. They were scratched from the next event because they wouldn't participate in this one. Here's McKenna Ernest, she's a student at Lincoln Middle School, and Sabrina Schreiber, a student at Lincoln Middle School, on why they refuse to compete against a biological man.
I choose to participate because it's not right for biological women to be playing with a biological man. Even though that he has different speed and muscular system than us. That's why he turns so much farther than us.
I just believe that it's not right, like McKenna said, for a biological male to be competing in a woman's category because it's scientifically proven that men are biologically stronger than women.
So, brave and necessary stand by those girls. The school board, by the way, because they didn't let them compete in the next event, said those students, like all other students on the team, however, were subject to a team rule that any player who scratches in an event cannot participate in that event at the next track. It's a neutral school-specific rule. It was in place before the students' protest and has nothing to do with those protests in any way. Now, the mom said, this is not a rule anyone knew about.
Holy shit.
You know, it's sweet.
Shit.
It's outrageous. It's, if you don't compete against the boys, you don't get to compete at all.
Yes. You're banned from ever competing against girls ever again.
Well, here's your female squad.
I mean, where we just don't even recognize biology. I mean, this is just, I think, when we're talking about the protests and this reaction, I mean, it's USA, but it's a reaction to just all this insanity.
And it is, you know, you look at those middle school girls there and that mother, and you look at Ben, who we had on, and others. Most people don't live their lives through a political lens. They just want to play sports or go to school, get a job, and all of this stuff is being forced into their face. I think it's forcing a lot of people to say, whoa, I better stand up for something, even though I'm not political to my core.
Yeah, well, it's not easy to be a middle school girl and stand up against, you know, all of this. I'm sure they received a lot of hate from their own students, from their own classmates, and they should be commended. It's very brave.
Sure. All right, we're going to turn now to a few additional headlines, starting with this. Happening today in Egypt, Hamas officials will meet with the head of the CIA to discuss a ceasefire and a hostage deal. That's according to an Axios report. The report says Israel is looking
I think we'll need frags this mission.
Return for a roughly 40-day ceasefire and return of about 900 Islamist prisoners in its 30-day proposal. Egypt's still not taking any refugees, but we are. Incredible. Two teenagers have turned themselves in after a video of them reportedly dumping trash into the ocean from their boat went viral. They're now charged with causing pollution and facing up to 5 years in prison. According to authorities, they dumped bins full of cans, plastic water bottles, and more. Family of one of the teens says he apologizes, while the other suspect has not commented.
5 years is a lot, but I have to say, I'm disgusted that they did.
Well, it is, but 5 years from considering what these Hamas folks are going to get a slap on the wrist.
5 years? Anything that goes on in society.
Anybody else going to get 5 years? Anybody. This guy's 5 years for dumping Bud Light cans in the ocean. All right. An unlikely animal pair was found taking a stroll together in an Iowa town. The dog and the deer were walking on the sidewalk side by side for about an hour before police rounded them up because they're too close to driving.
Why are you doing soft voice for this?
Because they're strolling. It's a stroll. They're on a date. They're an interspecies date. Police say the dog looked remorseful, but the deer looked like he was going to break free and go on another walk. See, look at that. Look at remorseful.
I don't get this.
They're friends. They're spending time together.
He's trying to bring some emotion to the story.
Relationship.
He really is. This is dramatic reading by Pete Hegseth.
There's a lot of otherism going on here. Okay, let the deer and the dog have their moment.
Yeah, I've seen the ones where the dog invites the deer into the house. You ever seen that one? Okay, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, he's coming up.
And a new investigation on fentanyl in the U.S., and it has China's fingerprints, go figure, all over it.
Congressman Carlos Jimenez sits on the select committee on the CCP and he weighs in.
What a lovely place.
Oh, the kids weren't joking. This place is something
What the
else. Straight to the history books it is. Now to find that fudge we heard so much about.
Oh, that didn't take long.
You could thank Junior for that.
From cupping their stuff to shining their coats, when people switch their dog's food to the farmer's dog, the effects can seem like magic. But there's no magic involved. It's just smarter, healthier pet food. It's amazing what real food can do.
I've got to go. Bye. Thanks, John. Go ahead.
We were made to help you book some meetings.
Before planning the wedding, your bad hip was really acting up. Then, you heard about Mako robotic assisted hip replacement. It starts with a CT scan to pinpoint the problem, then becomes a personalized 3D plan to guide your doctor during surgery. Mako can help lead to better outcomes, like less pain and shorter recovery times. The lifetime of a hip implant is limited, and revision surgery may be required. Individual results and recovery times vary. Risks of surgery include pain, infection, heart attack, stroke, death, and other serious risks. Ask your doctor for important safety information. To find a doctor who uses Mako, visit MakoCan.com.
Raising you is no better versus.
Are you getting me anything for Mother's Day? Go to 1-800-Flowers.com. Oh my God! Wow! Gorgeous! I feel like royalty. Thank you. 1-800-Flowers.com. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
When you can't watch, you listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Here at Allegiant Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying.
Last 2 years that I've been on my own, it's been very complicated. Every agency that I deal with for things like food, processes that help with groceries and other necessities that it can be, and it's always been with a smile. Thanks to the made ways to make myself live in basic dignity.
How much food is too much for kids? Drugs are out there. Will my team feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't know drug-free when I was young. When I had kids, drugs were okay. Feel free to talk about it with my kids.
Questions about drugs and kids? Call or chat to get real-time support.
Fueling America's fentanyl crisis. That's what House lawmakers are revealing after a bipartisan probe uncovers the CCP's role in the deadly drug epidemic. Lawmakers saying in an op-ed, quote, "We learned that China's ruling political party subsidizes the fentanyl crisis through government programs, protects fentanyl traffickers operating within its borders, and allows sales of deadly substances on Chinese e-commerce websites." So here to react, member of the House Select Committee on CCP, Congressman Carlos Jimenez. Congressman, thanks for being with us. So, intuitively, we know that China is behind the fentanyl crisis. We know that the precursor chemicals used to make fentanyl, now in Mexico, though, come from China. So what did we learn that was new here about the exact extent of the role of the CCP?
So what I learned that was new was that China is actually incentivizing those chemical companies to produce the chemicals as long as it's for export, because actually it's illegal to actually have those chemicals in China. But as long as you're exporting it and poisoning people
outside of China, it's great. Not only is it great, we'll incentivize you. We'll give you tax breaks to produce those chemicals or the precursors. And so that's outrageous. I can understand that you're allowing, hey, that somehow, underneath somebody is producing these chemicals in China, but you're really trying to go after them. But that's not the case. They're actually incentivized. They're poisoning over 100,000 people a year. Close to 100,000 people here in the United States, and other tens of thousands of people, probably in the West, in Europe, etc. And so China is really guilty of murder, in my mind, and China is also guilty of being a terrorist state. They are terrorizing us here in the United States. They're killing close to 100,000 people. Many more people have died, young people have died here in the United States from fentanyl overdose that were killed in the entire Vietnam War. And so, every year, by the way, and so that's outrageous.
And just to be clear, or to underline, these subsidies the Chinese Communist Party is offering to the manufacturers of these precursors are extended to the companies only if it's for export, not for domestic consumption.
That's correct. And most of these chemicals, a lot of these chemicals have no legitimate use. They are solely used to create these deadly poisons that are poisoning. Look, it's the number one cause of death of young people from 18 to 49, I believe, in the United States. And so they're actually incentivizing it. Hey, not here in China. By the way, you know how many people died of fentanyl overdose in China, last year? Zero. None. Zero. Okay? And so they're poisoning almost 100,000 Americans every single year here, and tens of thousands more in Europe, all on purpose, all being incentivized.
6A.
What can we do? What can you do? You guys in Congress, what can you do to address this?
Well, one thing I'm doing is I'm working up on a bill to name China a
First time I got nailed for higher than a 4.
And maybe they'll wake up to that, and maybe the Biden administration will actually do something about it. Instead of asking them, please, would you do something about the fentanyl crisis that we have here in the United States? Stop producing these chemicals, sending it over to Mexico, where these drug cartels are then actually making the pills, and then shipping them across the border. So we got to do two things. We got to take much more severe action against China, and we got to take much more severe action against those multinational cartels in Mexico, and probably start talking a little bit more, tougher with the Mexican government, because I also think that they're turning a blind eye to what's going on in their side of the border. Look, 9/11, we lost 3,000 Americans, and we went over to Afghanistan and waged war for 15 years because what terrorists have done to 3,000 Americans. What are we doing about some of these kids killing 100,000 Americans every single year? Nothing right now.
To state the obvious, better enforcement at the border. Not that would solve all of the problems. You still have to address Mexico and China, but that's another obvious peg on the stool here. Things that must be done, as you point out, to this crisis in America. Congressman Jimenez, thanks for being with us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Anarchy on college campuses continuing into the weekend. Kevin O'Leary says students are risking their future to push pro-Hamas sentiment. He's next.
I'm Tony Steen, digital strategist at AmericanEagle.com. Our clients have complex websites and digital marketing needs. Badgley Michigan, a high-end fashion brand, needed to expand their online presence, reach new customers, and increase online sales. We solve digital challenges like this all the time. We implemented a digital marketing strategy that more than doubled their online sales through management of email marketing, paid search, SEO, and social media. For results-driven digital marketing solutions, go to AmericanEagle.com.
Look, things may seem fine out there, but you need to watch out for diseases. I'll be okay. Does this look okay? Come on. I want to protect this. With the new Scott's Healthy Plus Lawn Food, it's the only product that prevents 27 diseases while feeding your grass to help keep your lawn healthy this season. Want me to show you how to put it on?
No, I think I know how to use a spreader. Pick up a bag of the new Scott's Turf Builder Healthy Plus Lawn Food today.
Feed your lawn. Feed it.
Dude, did you know BetMGM has responsible gambling tools so you don't get carried away? I never get carried away. No, they were the bobbleheads. And the playoff beer.
Joey's ready!
Well, those tools could really help. Don't forget about the backyard ring.
Yeah, these tools are pretty great. BetMGM is committed to making gambling safe and fun with responsible gambling tools, so you don't get carried away.
My name is Giovanni Tidio. 40 years ago, we started this world-famous paintball business. I walked anywhere from 5 to 6 miles every single day. To run a business like this, you really need that pep in the step. When I came across Balance of Nature, I knew this is the product to get because it just smelled real. Balance of Nature has fruits and vegetables in the ingredients. With Balance of Nature, you feel great.
Get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Call or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Fox News.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale. And here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
My name's Marie. I'm 49 years old, and I'm a business owner. I own a lemonade and ice cream shop in Florida. So I can feel and see that my lines have gotten deeper just from a year out in the sun. I'm still Marie, and I got Botox Cosmetic. I did not want a dramatic change. I wanted something subtle, and I'm really, really happy with the results. It's still me, but with fewer lines.
Botox Cosmetic is FDA approved. It temporarily makes frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better. The effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Do not receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow, eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Tell your doctor about your medical history, muscle and nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum and toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Anarchy on college campuses continuing through the weekend, with student activists pushing their pro-Hamas sentiments. And now Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary is sounding off with a word of caution for those agitators. O'Leary warning that student protesters are trashing their job chances, adding that when it comes to their futures, they are screwed. Shark Tank investor and O'Leary Ventures chair, Kevin O'Leary, is here with us now. Kevin, thanks for being here. Why are they screwed? Is it because, I mean, a lot of them are wearing masks, they're trying to hide their identity. You think that'll work?
It used to work back in the 60s and 70s because it was only recorded on 16 millimeter film. Today, all of this video security cameras are at 1080p and 4K resolution, extremely high resolution that allows you to use AI protocols to identify people by the iris or just a partial exposure of the face. Do you ever wonder how they captured every single person that marched on the Hill and the insurgents? Now, whether they arrested or not didn't matter, but every single individual on that hill eventually was identified. Using this AI technology today, it's very available, it's inexpensive, and I use it as an employer every time we have a candidate in the executive suite. We do a deep dive and we find out where you came. We're looking for what you say on your resume matching your reality of your life. And obviously, I don't care what side you're on in the protest, but if you're fighting police, burning flags, wrecking properties, breaking through windows, I'm going to know that. And so is the government, so is everybody else. So think about that. That's all I'm telling these young people. Think about it, because it's not free.
Do you think they're thinking about it, or do they think this will pay off? I mean, everything in their incentive structure, Kevin, in academia says become an activist, agitate. That's what their universities are telling you to do. Wouldn't they want their best opportunities in mind?
Well, universities and the concept of tenure for professors is allowing people with different thoughts and ideas to flourish. That's what our institutions are all about. But I'm just going back to a simple fact. When you break the law of the land, you become a criminal. And if you think by putting a mask on or wearing sunglasses is going to protect you, it doesn't. That's all I'm telling you. And so, you know, I think when you're in your 20s, you're very passionate, and I get that, and everybody goes through that process. But think about it. Think about what happens next. In 10 years, why didn't you get that job? Why didn't you get on that board? Why can't you get a loan? I'm telling you why right now. Because I saw you do it, and you lied to me on your resume that you never broke the law. Well, you did. Whether you get caught or not doesn't matter to me as an employer. That's why you should really think this through. And I teach this in colleges now. The world has changed because we have AI, and we've got high-resolution imagery, and it's being captured every day, and it goes on the dark web within 48 hours. I can see it anytime I want.
You're right. It is a totally different game. And why wouldn't you, for your corporation, cover your back by getting all the information you can? Kevin O'Leary, thank you for your time.
Take care.
You too. All right, former federal prosecutor Andy McCarthy on the latest developments in Trump's New York trial. Plus, they're off to the races. Janice is live ahead of the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby, breaking down a century and a half of history. He's talking to the expert. Coming up next.
Today, at American Beverage Company,
our models might still look the same,
but they can be remade in a whole new way. Thanks to you, we're getting models back.
And we've developed a way to make new ones from 100% recycled plastic.
New models made using no new plastic. We'll be seeing more of these models in more places.
And when we get more of them back,
we can use less new plastic.
See how our models are made to be remade.
Does your windshield have a crack? Trust SafeLight. This customer had auto glass damage, but he was busy working from home. So he scheduled with SafeLight in just a few clicks. We came to his house. Then we got to work. We replaced his windshield and installed new wipers to protect his new glass.
It's great. Thank you.
My pleasure.
We come to you for free. Schedule now for free mobile service at SafeLight.com.
Psoriasis all over. I couldn't get my hair done.
Then psoriatic arthritis. Cosentyx works on both of them.
People with psoriasis on the scalp have a 4 times higher risk for psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions, severe skin reactions that look like eczema, and an increased risk of infections, some fatal, have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine or plan to, or if IBD symptoms develop or worsen.
Still working for me. See it.
Mr. Zhang.
Southwest Jamaica Sail is now on with rates from $199 per person per night. Visit southwest.com or call 1-800-SANDOLS.
Feeling a man. I realize I'm missing.
Yeah.
Since I've got this thing with me.
Isn't this great?
If you take me with you, it's all yours.
Yeah. I can do a cartwheel in here.
That's our
Would you
man.
like to join us?
And it looks like he's got the package.
We would love to
We
join
need to
you.
get him back to the extraction point in one piece. His former employers not to
It's time to take back your garage.
It's a good one to save. Save it.
Lockers, workstations, tool storage, and rugged flooring that's easy to install. The modular steel cabinetry that lets you customize your storage.
I will see you guys next time, right? Peace out.
More from your garage with New Age products.
Texas. It is a land of mystery and legend. Teen life. Where nature has selected the most adaptable.